C'est bon? Bon, ben, bonjour à tous. Merci d'être venus. Voilà, je m'appelle Étienne Bernard, je suis le CEO de NuMind. On est une start-up spécialisée dans l'extraction d'informations. Et je vais vous montrer mon... du coup, je ne sais pas, est-ce que je parle en anglais ou en français? Maybe I can do it in English, it's a bit better, and everybody can understand. All right, so so I'm going to show the latest model that we created, which is a large language model, so a bit like GPT, but it's a model that is specialized in extracting information. So what is information extraction? Well, it's really analyzing documents and extracting the information you care about. So it can be just classifying the documents, depending on its type, its topic, or it can be recognizing some aspect in a document, extracting relations, all these sort of things. There are a lot of use cases in every industry, really. Here is an overview, a lot in healthcare to analyze the medical doctor reports, to analyze like a bunch of things, of course, legal documents, contracts, and so on. It's a big use case, but it's really a bit everywhere. Finance, obviously, is a big user as well. And there is a deep, long history of information extraction. It started with rule-based system, and then a bit of machine learning was improving performance. And relatively recently, neural networks start to be used to do information extraction. And even more recently, it's another kind of neural network, these large language models, which are much bigger. And they are the ones that are used nowadays to extract information. And the advantage of large language models is that they allow to go beyond the classic task of just classifying, recognizing entities, extracting relation. You can really what we call structured extraction. So you can really extract whatever you want in however structure, however format you want. And that's what I'm going to talk about now. Also, another advantage is that before it would only work on text, and you need to do an OCR, an optical character recognition step before. Now you can do everything in one with a multimodal model. That's another advantage of using LLMs. So structured extraction is really transforming a text or a document, a PDF, anything really, into a structured output. In that case, a JSON format. So it's something that you can put in a database, something that a regular computer can understand. So it's used to fill up that database. It's used to take automatic actions as well sometimes. And you can do any information extraction task. You can do classification with that. You can extract entities. You can extract relations. Anything you want. Here is an example. That's a discussion between a doctor and a patient. And you might want to extract what was the temperature, what was the blood pressure, what was the treatment plan, like the list of prescriptions. There's 2 of them here. That's the sort of things you can ask an LLM to do. Other example, description of a product. You want to pass some properties. This is the description of a chemical reaction. And you might want to extract the chemical components, their name, their quantities, and also classify them if they are reactant, reagents, solvent, and so on. And so how do you perform information extraction with LLMs? You can query frontier LLM, like the biggest LLM of OpenAI or Anthropic, like GPT 4.5, for example. This is an example with GPT 4.0 of the example I showed before, the chemical reaction passing. And it's reasonably cheap. I mean, with GPT 4.5, that would be quite expensive, but GPT 4.0 reasonably cheap. But it's not perfect, clearly, because in that case, it lacks domain knowledge. It's not a chemist, so it doesn't understand that in these settings, water could not be a solvent. Actually, it was too small. Didn't make sense for it to be a solvent. And it's not private. So if your data have some confidentiality constraint, or there's some private information that you cannot leak to the world, like in the medical setting, but not only. Like often your internal document in a company, you don't want models to be trained on. And so, yeah, when you use an external API, you are open to this possibility that this data is going to leak. So they are the issues. And the alternative is you can host the AI yourself, the LLM yourself. It's private, so data doesn't go anywhere. It's great. But it's going to be a smaller model. You have no choice because it's very expensive to host a model on multiple GPUs. And so necessarily it's going to be less good. And the infrastructure to host your model is expensive. Even with a reasonably small large language model, the GPUs, it might be easily 10,000 a year, 20,000 a year just to host the model. And so to kind of solve these issues, we decided to create a foundation model, an LLM that is task specific. So the way I'm going to go quickly, but we basically take an existing, take an existing LLM, a generic one that is not specialized, and then we create a partially synthetic data set of millions of examples of structured extraction, and we train this generic data set on this synthetic data set, and that's what we call NuExtract. It's an LLM that is specialized in extracting information, and it does so much better than the model of the same size that is generic. And then you can use it. So because it's small, you can deploy it easily, and then you can also, because it's small, customize it easily. That's another point. The big models are harder to customize, but the small one, you can modify the weights of the parameters, you can do some fine-tuning reasonably easily. So that's the way to use such model. So OK, this is just a screen capture of a demo of NuExtract 1.5. You can see how you give a template. So I didn't talk about that. Yeah, actually, I mentioned it quickly. Like that's how you would query an LLM, generally speaking. You would tell it that's kind of information I want, and that's the structure that I want the information to be in. So that's what it is here. You give a template, and then the LLM reads the text, reads the templates, and just extract the information. And OK, that's something that was even surprising to us, is that our model, even though they are much smaller than something like GPT-4, by a factor of several hundred, they're actually a little bit better, in that case, pretty similar, to this biggest model. So that's a nice thing about having this specialized model in extracting information. In long documents, also, we saw pretty big, actually even a bigger gap, which this one we didn't expect it at all. We expected GPT-4o to be really good at long documents, and our models to be not that good, but it was actually better. So why this model is so good? Well, first I said it's because it's specialized. It follows the templates very well. That's a big part. OK, this is a bit technical word, hallucination rate calibrated. What it means is that we told the model to say, I don't know. So if I go back here, for example, total valuation, it returns nothing because it's not present in the document. Traditional LLM, like GPT, they have a tendency to always return something. They want to please the user. That's because the consumers of ChatGPT like that, always have an answer. And they have this bias. And we unbias this LLM by training it specifically to say, I don't know when information is not there. That's where we gain a lot compared to the generic models. All right, then, of course, we have a good data set. And this is a more technical thing, so I'm going to skip it. So it's a multilingual model, GPT, NuExtract 1.5. As I said, can be customized. It's open source, this model. OK, I didn't mention that at all, but most of our NuExtract models are open source. And also something that I should mention is that we're going to release NuExtract 2.0 in a few weeks. And this is going to be open source as well, except the biggest one. And the biggest one is going to be, oh, here you go, that's NuExtract 2.0. Actually, we go up to 70 billion parameter now. And the biggest one is going to be part of our NuExtract platform. And that's a platform you can go on the web and you can define your extraction task by writing, by specifying a template, and by even giving examples of the extraction. And then you can just process your document via the platform, which will do better than GPT and Anthropic models. And also, you can have the private version of the platform that you can host on your GPU for your sensitive document. And OK, you can see the open source models on Hugging Face, and you can join our Discord channel if you're interested to be part of the community. And that's it. Thank you very much. Time for question, or is there some question? OK, thank you. We can always talk after. Thank you.